The most feared pirate queen of the 16th century Mediterranean is known to history by a title, not a name. Sayyida Al Hurra translates as the noble lady who is free and independent, the woman sovereign who bows to no superior authority. To her Iberian enemies, she was Sayyida Al Hurra, a ruthless corsair. To the people of Tétouan, she was the Hakamat Tétouan, the governor of Tétouan. Her real name is lost, perhaps intentionally erased. This is the story of the last woman in Islamic history to legitimately hold the title Al Hurra, a ruler whose life was forged in the fires of exile, ambition, and revenge. Sayyida Al Hurra was born between 1485 and 1495, likely in Granada, into the noble Banu Rashid family, who claimed descent from the Prophet Muhammad. Her father was Mulai Ali ibn Rashid, a Granadine captain and later the founder and emir of Chefchaouen in Morocco. Her mother was Lala Zora Fernandez, a Christian from Viger de la Frontera who converted to Islam. Her childhood was shattered by the Reconquista. In 1492, the forces of Ferdinand and Isabella conquered Granada, ending nearly 8 centuries of Muslim rule in Iberia. The subsequent expulsion and persecution of Muslims and Jews triggered a massive exodus. The Rashid family was among the thousands of unfortunate immigrants who fled to North Africa. A refugee childhood in Chefchaouen, the family settled in the Rif Mountains, where Mulai Ali founded the city-state of Chefchaouen as a sanctuary for Andalusian refugees. Here, the young Sayyida received an exceptional education. She studied under prominent scholars, including the Moroccan mystic Abdullah al-Ghazwani, and became fluent in Castilian Spanish and Portuguese. This education, rare for any woman of her time, equipped her with the linguistic and diplomatic skills she would later wield as a ruler. In 1510, a strategic marriage was arranged. Sayyida married Sultan Muhammad al-Mandri, the governor of Tétouan. He was likely the son or nephew of the city's legendary refounder, Abu al-Hassan Ali al-Mandri, a Granadine captain who had rebuilt the ruined port with permission from the Wattasid Sultan. This marriage united the two powerful Andalusian exile families of Chefchaouen and Tétouan, creating a formidable political bloc in northern Morocco. Between 1515 and 1519, Sayyida's husband died. The population of Tétouan, already accustomed to her exercising power as his deputy, accepted her as their sole ruler. She formally assumed the title Sayyida Al Hurra, Hakamat Tétouan. Her rise was smooth, bolstered by her family's prestige and the influence of her brother, Moulay Ibrahim, who served as vizier to the Wattasid Sultan in Fez. Under her rule, Tétouan transformed. It was the only major Moroccan port not occupied by Iberian forces, making it a vital economic and naval hub. She oversaw the city's administration, welcomed continuous waves of refugees, and turned it into a thriving, fortified city-state. Spanish historian German Vasquez Chamorro later noted that under her, the city soon reached an unheard-of level of prosperity. This prosperity had a primary source: privateering. With Morocco lacking a formal navy, Sayyida Al Hurra organized the corsairs of the Western Mediterranean into a formidable fleet. Her motives were multifaceted: defense, revenge for the exile of her people, and substantial revenue from booty and ransom. She struck a legendary partnership with the Barbarossa brothers, the Ottoman-aligned corsairs of Algiers. She reportedly learned from them, assembled her own fleet, and coordinated attacks. With Auric Reis, Barbarossa, she effectively dominated the Mediterranean, raiding Spanish and Portuguese ships and coastal settlements. Spanish records from 1540 detail attacks on Gibraltar and the loss of much booty and many prisoners, for whom she personally negotiated ransoms. To the Iberians, she was a bad-tempered, aggressive pirate. But from the Moroccan and Andalusian perspective, she was a defender. Scholar Hasna Lebedi argues she was a privateer, protecting her coast from aggressive colonial powers, doing unto the Iberians what they were doing to Morocco. Despite the hostile rhetoric, she was a key diplomatic player. Spanish and Portuguese sources describe her as their partner in the diplomatic game, and European envoys frequently traveled to her court in Tétouan to negotiate prisoner releases. In 1541, The Wattasid Sultan of Morocco, Ahmed al-Wattasi, seeking to strengthen his weakening dynasty, asked for her hand in marriage. In an act of breathtaking assertion of power, Sayyida Al Hurra accepted but refused to leave Tétouan. The Sultan was forced to travel from the capital, Fez, to her city for the wedding. This was the only time in Moroccan history a king married outside his capital. The marriage was a political alliance, not a submission. She insisted on continuing to govern Tétouan independently, and the Sultan needed her resources and influence in the north. News of this power marriage troubled the court of Philip II in Madrid. Her formidable power did not last. By 1542, several factors converged. Her ongoing conflicts with the Portuguese and Ceuta disrupted trade, alienating local merchants. More crucially, her son-in-law, Moulay Ahmed al-Hassan al-Mandari, her first husband's grandson, anticipating the fall of the Wattasids, allied with their rivals, the Saadi dynasty. In late 1542, he arrived in Tétouan with a small army and usurped his mother-in-law. Deposed, stripped of her property and power, she had no choice but to accept her fate. After nearly 3 decades of rule, the sovereign lady was forced into retirement. Sayyida Al Hurra returned to her childhood home of Chefchaouen, where she lived in obscurity for nearly 2 more decades. She likely died on July 14, 1561, and is buried there. The sources fall silent about these final years, a quiet epilogue to a life of extraordinary noise and power. For centuries, Sayyida Al Hurra was relegated to a footnote, her story obscured by biased Iberian accounts and perhaps deliberate erasure by those who succeeded her. Today, she is reclaimed as a seminal figure, a refugee, a governor, a diplomat, a naval strategist, and a woman who wielded sovereign power in a man's world. She was, as Moroccan historian Muhammad ibn Azzaz Hakim stated, the only woman to have held sovereign power in Morocco. Her life is a testament to the resilience of the Andalusian diaspora and a compelling chapter in the global history of women in power. She walked, as the 11th century poet Walida wrote, with head aloft. What other forgotten figures from history should we cover? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the past, please like the video, subscribe for more, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next documentary. Thanks for watching.